what are your daily non-negotiable habits, Leif Babin?
My daily non-negotiable habits. Usually I want to sleep in about 10:30 a.m.
Leif Babin style.
Just eat some donuts. Listen, I mean, at the end of the day, discipline equals freedom. It's a mantra that I learned from you, and that it's just absolutely true. And if you gotta get up in the morning and work out there's some days frankly I can't do that because life gets in the way, if I'm traveling or my kid wakes up early and I know I've been out of town and my wife wants to get a workout in before the day starts, so I'll take the kids so she can do that and we can rotate out, so I can't tell you that always happens, but you got to get up early, you got to work out, and you have to prioritize and execute, and having that checklist that you put together the night before about what you want to do and what's important is absolutely critical. Otherwise, you lose it. And for me and Jocko and for all of us at our team on Echelon Front, like it's when we get away from the things that we talk about to people. We're human beings like everybody else, and we can get pulled in different directions. When we get away from those things, it doesn't work. Things start to fall apart. You lose track of where the priorities are. If I can't regularly detach, that's something that I have to really focus on to do, is to regularly detach. If I'm grinding on something for 2 or 3 or 4 hours at a time, sometimes it's easy to miss other things that are coming up, and I got to make sure I pull away from things, kind of think about the prioritize and execute piece, figure out, if I need to reprioritize and so I don't get target fixated on one thing and keep going. But I think for me, what I want to do is I try to make time to spend time with my family as much as I can as well. And obviously there's a lot of work to do. There always is. And it's, those things, when I can stay consistent on getting up early in the morning, getting a workout in, stay focused on a list that I have from the night before, that I'm following through all the things that you talk about. I'm performing better than I ever do.
That's how you win.
It works. At the end of the day, there's what works and there's what doesn't work.
Yeah, that's how you win. Check. Tell us about a time you were annoyed with Jocko or his intensity.
Annoyed with Jocko or his intensity. You know what? We got along pretty damn well together, and I think there's not really any time that comes to mind that I was annoyed by you, except for maybe what we mentioned earlier, right? When the times when initially when we were working together and you're looking over my shoulder and telling me to do, like, hey, we should do this way. Let's plan it like that. That I definitely got annoyed from that time. I felt like I want to run my, everyone's trying to tell me what to do here, and Jocko's looking over my shoulder, and I want to run my team, just as I explained earlier. And I didn't realize until later, like, what you were doing. You're like, hey, you're passing on a lot of great information. And I see that all the time, actually, with people, because if I could have detached from that situation, I would have recognized, like, hey, I'm a new platoon commander. I've never been a platoon commander. Jocko was just a platoon commander. He had a highly successful platoon commander tour. He had a historic deployment where he did a whole bunch of operations, and he's got a ton of lessons learned. So what an amazing opportunity to learn everything from him. But that's not the way you approach it, right? It's like ego, my ego, and I see it all the time. And there was a leader I was dealing with where I was talking to a member of the board. For this particular leader who was constantly bucking against this guy's, and it's amazing to me though to see, like, hey, the CEO of this company who's pushing back against this member of the board, like, he should be so thankful that the member of the board who's got massive amounts of experience, extraordinary success, is there to mentor and train him, and yet he doesn't want to listen to that guy. I want to do it myself. You're always over my shoulder. Instead of being like, hey man, open up the legal pad. Let's take some notes here. I want to pick your brain for everything. I want to, and I think just recognize if you're feeling that way and you're frustrated with somebody who's looking over your shoulder, then you need to take advantage of the situation to learn from them, and certainly build up trust. The way to get out of that situation is to build up trust, to show that you're learning, you're growing, and that you don't need someone to look over your shoulder every second. And usually that comes even after we got forward and you just unleashed us on the battlefield. I would always come to you and be like, hey, Jocko, what do you think about this? We're going to do this situation. I wasn't looking to you to tell me what to do, but I was running things by you, and we do that all the time now with Echelon Front.
Absolutely.
Well, I call Jocko up and say, hey, here's what's going on. I'm working with this leader. You do the same. I mean, we talk about these things all the time.
Yeah. And that's awesome. Actually, what's interesting about that is that in the last 6 months, that idea has really become formalized in the tank, which is where we take the companies that we're working with, and whoever's working specifically with us, with a specific company on the ground, is coming back to the tank, all the Echelon Front team, and we get on the call or the Skype or the conference room, and we go through all the issues that all these different companies are having, and that's where we solve the problems, is in the tank. So that way we get everyone's input, and not only do we give the best solution to the client, we also all learn from it, so that we have that solution in our head, so we all get stronger and better. So that's one of the evolutions in Echelon Front that's pretty awesome to see, is what started off as just like how we would run TU Bruiser, which is, hey, we're going to bounce ideas off each other, and hey, I don't know how to solve this problem, to you, or hey, I don't know how to do this operation, to you, or this is what I think, what do you think, which is the way a team should work together. And now what we do is we get to do that for other companies, use the same brain power, use the same methodology, and it's awesome to do, and it's awesome to see.
It is awesome. The tank.
Yeah, getting in the tank.